Hello React Native developers, I hope you are well. William here, recording from beautiful Zurich, Switzerland. In this session, we're going to implement the edit profile screen with the nice horizontal tab. But before we get into it, there is a bug on Android with the graph animation. So we're going to fix that and then get into the edit profile. I hope that sounds good. Let's have a look. We are back into the code here, and the graph animation only works on Android, and it's because actually the transition API from Reanimated only works, I think, for a single use case consistently on iOS and Android. And so this is not one of these use case. So we're going to use regular animations to animate these graphs. So I'm going to remove the Reanimated transition. So we're going to remove these guys, and we're going to need to use animated instead. So I'm going to remove the ref. So this becomes just a regular view. And so we don't need here to... So here we use layout effect to trigger the animation, which we could still do. But I'm tempted here to use, so to have a transition on the focus. So I think we can have is focused and do use is focused from React Native navigation. And we can attach an animation value to changes of the is focused state. So we're going to create transition is. And so we can use transition from redash on is focused. And so we need to import view here. And so this is the bar of the graph. So this is the view we're going to animate. So I'm going to create an animated.view. Or can I do animated box actually? Maybe let's try animated box. I'm not sure if this works. So we can do animated box. Animated box is animated, create animated component of box. And here we can attach a style. And for instance, we could do transform scale Y is transition. So we go from 0 to 1 on focus. Yeah, that seems to work actually. We can make it a bit slower. So maybe 650 milliseconds. Perfect. And so now we just need to, so I can just change focus to see the animation happen. We can just add the Y translation. So it starts always from the bottom. So here we can add translate Y, which we can calculate which we can calculate here. So we need the height. And so this is the max height or total height. The current height is total height times transition. So current height is multiply of total height by transition. And translate Y, we want to translate by total height minus current height, so the remaining, divided by 2 because it's we scale on the center of the object. So that would be divide sub total height minus current height divided by 2. That looks good, right? I was not watching, but yes, I think. So I think that's good, and this works perfectly on Android and iOS. I got carried away using the reanimated transition API. It only works, I think, for one use case on Android and iOS. And so now we can work on the edit profile screen. So we are going to need to create a bit of boilerplate first, right? And so edit profile. So it's going to be the edit profile screen, which we need to declare. So authentication, home navigator, home routes, edit profile. Just a bit of boilerplate we need to do. Okay. And so in home, we're going to create the edit profile folder. Okay, it's good. Some index and edit profile dot tsx. And does this work? Edit profile, export default from edit profile. Okay. I think it was at the wrong place. Okay, that looks good. So let's get started. Let's have a look at the Figma file first. So here we have some header and then we have the tabs. So horizontal tabs with the contents. This part looks very familiar to this part. So I think we're gonna copy it from the drawer. So box, flex one. And let's see how we've done it in the drawer. Let me just close this. So that would be this whole part here. And okay, let's see. So a couple of imports we need to do. Now this one, navigation we can get. Let me see how it's done for another screen. I always forget. Yeah, that's what we want. And here would be edit file. Okay. So maybe background color should be. Is it background? Perfect. Title is edit profile. Perfect. What are the icons? Left and right icon. So we have just back. So I assume this one I can remove. No. So I need to make This one optional. And you see, this is where TypeScript is really good, because say, okay, I just make it optional, and now it tells me where I need to modify the code. I mean, without TypeScript, that would just be not possible. So here I'm tempted, if there is no right, we need some sort of a placeholder. Something like this. Okay, so it's the same with perfect. And here would be a back button, left. So let me maybe check. So it would be arrow. And on press, actually, so it should be here, open drawer, and here we should have the, I guess, menu, yeah, menu icon. And let me remove this one to see. No. Okay. So if we go back in the drawer, we should also have the profile avatar. Which seems to be this part here. Let's see. Here, drawer width is the width of the screen. Text we can import. Looks good, kind of. Top -50. Why is it starting? Yeah, actually that makes sense. So I should have a box with the remaining of the screen. That's not. So flex. No, it doesn't. Maybe I should just margin vertical and do style margin top 25. So 50 divided by 2. No, 50. It's 100. Plus theme. I forgot what it's called. So theme equals use theme from restyle, but we want the directly typed version, so it would be theme, and I think it would be spacing.hem. Okay, so that looks good. So now we have some basic boilerplate, and what we can do is the tabs. So okay, we're gonna create a couple of components. So we're gonna have a tabs component. Let me go back to the design, and yeah, some content for each tab. Let me think. So probably here we need to create some data for the tabs. So one is configuration and the other one is personal info. Tabs. So let's create the tabs component. So tabs, and we receive the tabs as property. So it's an array of tab, and the tab has an ID and a title. I think I called it label. Yeah, maybe title. Okay. So here, so we want a box that takes all the remaining space, and actually I'm gonna add a container for the, I'm confused on what to do. Okay, so let's here loop. So here we'll have a box with flex direction row for the header, and we're gonna map over the tabs. So tab, and we're gonna again have our box, and I think here we should probably have also a flex one. Let me just add some background color for debugging, and in the middle we could have text, and there would be tab dot title, and we need to import text. No? Okay. Doesn't look too bad. Text align center. That looks actually pretty good. We need to add the key, but makes sense. So tab.id. Some padding. Okay. And for the font variant, So we have Pro Display Semi-Bold 20. So let's look at our theme if we have something similar. We have title 2 or title 3. Can maybe try title 2. It's a bit too big, huh? Title 3 seems to be good. And we're gonna need to wrap this into a rect button. And on press, we select the tab. So set tab to be tab. But so this is going to be conflicting. So here what we want to do probably is to have a state. Tab, set tab, use state, and default is the first tab. Rect button from React Native gesture handler. So this one we rename. That's a terrible variable name. I need to move the key above. Let me rename this to tab. And this one to selected tab. Set selected tab. Okay. Now the title disappeared probably because of the button. Let me check. So should I add probably the flex actually to this part? No. Let me add some background color to debug quickly. Let me import this one. That kind of looks good. Okay. Do I actually need to put... Yes. Perfect. And I think here I can use a rec button, hopefully. Okay. Up. And now here actually padding bottom, we're gonna make it bigger. Can I do that? Perfect. And now we want on selection to have this little thing maybe sliding from one side to the other. And so I think it goes from 1/4 to the screen to 3/4. So I'm gonna use dimensions. We want a transition. So use transition on selected tab. Again, I think here we're going to use duration 650 milliseconds. selected tabs. Yeah, should be here on the index actually. So maybe I call this one index. Set index. So we start at 0. And selected tab is tabs at index. So here we have index. Probably now I guess we use the index really as the identity of the tab, so I can put back index, set index. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna call it I. So selected tab actually we don't need for now. And now let's do our little button. So I'm gonna create the little green circle. So box, background, color, primary, with, I don't know, maybe 10. Height 10, border radius 5. Ooh. That looks good. And position absolute. Bottom 0, left 0. That looks good, and actually I'm thinking of removing therefore this extra padding. Or I should do, no, padding bottom. Okay. Style is padding bottom of, so M plus the 10, which is the height of the little dot. So theme.spacing.m plus 10. Oh, here we don't use theme. Theme equals use theme. Is it this one? I don't know. No. Use theme. Okay. And let me just do animated view here, it's easier. From reanimated, of course. So position absolute. Bottom 0, left 0, background color. Theme dot colors dot primary with 10, height 10, border radius 5. And we're gonna add a translate. Translate X, so transform, translate X, which we infer from the transition. So here we have translate X, we mix on transition. At 0 we are at with a quarter with times 0.25 with times 0.75. Mix we get from redash. Something like this. It's a bit slow actually. Much better. It doesn't look centered though. Here -5 probably every time. No, wait. Because at 0, or maybe I can add the -5 here. Left is -5. Yeah. So it still doesn't look centered actually. No, so I think I'm trying to give me a moment. So here if we have 0, okay. So we want to translate it to quarter of the screen. Actually, maybe is that correct? I should. Let me try to measure this quickly.
A few moments later.
So I actually done some measurements on the screenshot and it looks exactly at the right positions. So now we can do the contents and we also need to translate the content. So we're gonna have some children, and each child is gonna be the content of a tab. So we have our children. And so here I'm gonna do a flex 1. And we have so we're gonna have actually an animated view. This is where we're gonna have our children. Yeah, that's good. And here we're gonna do a style. The width is the width of the screen times the number of tabs. And we want to do flex direction row. So let me add some contents to the tab. So we have configuration, personal info. So let me create this boilerplate quickly. Configuration, personal info. So a bit of boilerplate to do here. Configuration. Personal info. So maybe I can do like a box and some text. And configuration. Configuration up. Perfect. So here, flex 1. So Let's go back to the tabs. And I think I'm going to loop over the children to create a container of width, which is the width of the screen. So children map child, and I'm going to wrap the child into a container view. So maybe actually box here. Okay, flex. One key is can use index. Width is width. Like this? No. Children. Child. Okay. And now let's translate this one. So we multiply width by index. No, by transition. Configuration by minus width. That looks good, right? I think so. No, wait. Why does it feel backwards? Personal info. So if I... Why do I expect it to slide from the... Yeah, actually, it should slide in the same direction than the dot, right? So should I simply revert? Reverse? No. So here, yeah, I wish it would go in the same direction, but then that would mean, for instance, if I'm at configuration, so personal info should be before. So here I'm at 0. We should translate to width. But let's keep it like this for now. I will think about it offline. So now we have to do the actual screens. Just can use index here. So let's try to do these different elements. So personal info. No, that's configuration. We can do a scroll view. And So here for the question, I guess that's just some regular text. So scroll view import from React Native. Maybe I can put a box here. Padding medium. So let me check in the theme. So body. It's just the color, which is, I guess, different. Where do we have the same? Here. Okay. Okay. And so here we have, so it's like a check box. So here only one can be selected. Here I guess many. Here it looks like also many as well here. I'm gonna start just to do like how is it called, like checkboxes, and this one seems to be more like a radio group, but let's see. And it looks like these are similars. So maybe I'm thinking of creating a component called checkbox group. So we would have options. So I can do outfit type, value, man, label for men, value woman for woman, value both, label for both. And then we have the same with my preferred brands. Preferred brands. So let me copy paste these values quickly. So now let's create the checkbox group component. I'm just gonna create it here. And so checkbox group, we have options, which is an array, and we have a value, string, label, string. Okay. So options, checkbox group, and here we're gonna have a box with a flex direction row, and I guess for each option I'm gonna use a button, and the color depends if the button is selected or not. So I need to add the state, use state. So selected values, set selected values. So it's gonna be an array of strings. Let's see. Let's see what I'm doing. Okay. So I'm thinking of mapping over the options. Option. And we're going to use a button. Key is option.value. And the color, so if it's primary or not, it depends on. But let me see how our buttons look like. I forgot the API for buttons. Where do we have buttons? Login. Okay, so the variant on press label, perfect. This is what we want. So variant depends if it's selected value. So if selected values index of is different from -1, it's primary. If not, I guess it's called default. Index of option.value. So here we have, actually can do label value. And on press, again here the action on press depends on if it's selected or not. So maybe I should do, so let me return the body here. Is selected. So on press, if it's selected, we remove it from the array. So if is selected, we do selected values splice at the index of the value. If not, we insert. So selected values push of yeah, of value. And then we do set selected values. We change the identity of the array. Selected values. So that looks good actually, but we need a couple of things. We're gonna need a flex wrap, a value wrap, and we're gonna need to have the buttons a bit smaller. Why are they so big? Oof. So maybe I can overwrite the style. So style, and I'm tempted to do. Can I do rect button props style? Is that a thing? Okay. I'll take it and let's see if I can override these values. Right. Style. So the problem is, can I do something like with undefined to overwrite it? Height undefined. Auto, can I do auto? Let me check. Interesting. Let's add some padding. Okay, so that might work actually. So if we go back here, so auto undefined, I guess that's fine. Padding 16, something like this, huh? And margin, let's say 4. That looks good. Now let's do the... Oh. So where is the scroll view? Configuration, scroll view, which is in tabs, flex 1. Let me just to debug this one. And it's here. Can I do flex 1? I don't think I can. No, it works. Okay, that's good. So now let's try to do the other ones. These, and these. How are we gonna... You know, I'm trying, because it's so similar, I'm like, can we... Is there a way to factorize this in something that makes sense? Should I... Okay. And here's the margin. I'm gonna do margin bottom and margin right. And maybe margin top. So margin vertical maybe. Okay. So now we have what is your clothing size? And my preferred clothing colors. So it's also a checkbox group, but a different one. So I'm gonna call it maybe rounded checkbox group. And we need the options. So sizes. So we have a value is S medium large, XL, XXL. Okay. And for colors, let me copy the colors quickly. Okay, so we're gonna have rounded checkbox group. Options are sizes. And here colors, and here I'm gonna do something like value is color. So let's create this component, which has definitely some overlap with checkbox group. So I'm going to copy paste this component. So it's a rounded checkbox group. And we have an extra prop. So value is color boolean. All right. So here it's not going to be a button anymore. But let me do a view. and no, a borderless button. So on press, let's see. So here we have a view. We have the text, which is going to be value to uppercase. So background color. So style. We have 40. So width is 40. Oh, yeah. Is that? Yeah. So width is 40. Height is 40. Border radius is 20. And background color is selected. So let me take the colors from the buttons. So that would be these. Here I can change this one here to not use the one from Restyle. Use theme. Let me just copy this guy. So use theme. Okay. Background color. If it's selected, it's theme color primary. If not, it's background 2. So consistent with the button. That's good. So here we can just use background color directly. Perfect. And justify content, center, align items, center. And the color here it's either so text align center here also. Okay. And let me check also the typography semi-bold 12. Let's see if we have something similar. That would be the variant header. Okay, very cool. And so I guess here it's white if it's primary. So color is selected. Oh, I don't have white. Register the color, right? Or let me go back to the theme again. So maybe I should call it text contrast. And that would be palette.white. So that will be text contrast or text. It's not the same exactly. Let's go back to the button for color. I mean, I should just copy this one as well. So it's background or secondary. It's not the same, but that would be background, okay. No, text contrast. Theme.color, secondary. So here the color is either background, okay, or secondary. Oops. 1 second. So I am gonna copy paste this thing here. So that looks good. Now we need to add also the same. So padding 16. I guess this one we don't need, but margin bottom, margin right. Not on the text, but here. Okay. And now we can do the is value color. So this is if is value color is false. And if so value is color is true, we want to do an icon. A white icon. So color white, name, I guess it's gonna be called check. Size, I'm not sure. Let's put 16. So is value color and is selected. And background color. Is value color, we do value or background color. Up. No. So is value color. Probably no, option is colors, value. Um, okay, this of we should value is color. Okay. So that looks good. The margin right, I would make it 8 pixels. Margin bottom 16 maybe. Yes. So here would be theme dot spacing medium. Theme dot spacing small. And we need to make it consistent with checkbox group here. Okay. Looks great. There is another aspect of it. What we can try to do is that you see here if it's selected, you see a outer circle. So here we have our circle of size 40, and this one is of size 50. So we can do a view, wrapping view, style, width 50, height 50, border radius 25, justify content, center, align items, center, and border width is selected, it's gonna be 1 or 0. Border color is gonna be theme dot colors dot background 2. I am tempted. That's not working. Because I probably need to move the margin up here. And then it looks like very similar to the original design. And so I think here we're gonna do next the personal info. Now let's look into the personal info. And so we have a small form. And here we really need our checkbox actually to be a checkbox. So let's try it on this one first, if we can only select one option. So if I go into checkbox group, maybe we can add a radio option. And that would be so this one would be of type radio. And so if it's radio, it's only selected value. So I guess this one we can keep. But if if it's radio, we simply do set selected values of value, else we execute this part, something like this. So that's good. So let's have a look at personal info. So we have account information, and we have the male, female. So scroll view, account, information, genders, value, label, and same for female. Now we have the form. So here, password. So I'm gonna guess, I'm gonna look into the login, how we did it in the login screen. So we have text input. So we did, okay. I just did a couple of let's see. So we have text input, so I'm gonna remove okay, just gonna remove these now. Name, here. Okay. And do margin bottom. Okay, and now we can add one for the dress. What kind of maybe like a map or a pin? Map pin. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this session. Still quite some work to be done to finish this UI kit, but we're gonna push through it. So I am really looking forward to talk to you soon. And in the meantime, happy hacking.